Diabeligence. Excellent day, very sweet viewers and listeners. Welcome to our newest vlog, Diabeligence. This is a combination of two words, diab for diabetes and ligens for intelligence. That is why we coined that to Diabeligence. The world is really full of sweet people, sweet foods, and sweet temptations. That is why sweetness already becomes a health deficit. Today, Nurse Noy will learn with you and join you in the quest to have diabeligence. In this vlog, we will be elaborating lifestyle modifications, diet suggestions, liquid reinforcements, physical routines, and above all, simple tips to live and be happy with sweetness. This is holistically called as Diabeligence. This program will be a weekly recorded video presentation that will be released every Sunday. So sit back and relax and join us as we will be proud diabeligent people with great diabeligence. A pleasant day, dear Diabeligent listeners. We are on our third episode of Diabeligence, a program that promotes diabetic intelligence. Once again, this is your program host, Nurse Noy Gonzaga Jr., a registered nurse, a clinical instructor, a certified caregiver, and a certified health aide, sharing a practical way how to deal with diabetes. Our Diabeligent topic for today will be Diabetakit. Again, Diabetakit. That is spelled Diabetakit. Diabetakit. Again, have a sweet day, Diabeligent listeners. I will be sharing with you a concept called Diabetakit, which is actually a completion of the content of a survival kit that is being brought physically by a diabetic person while on transit or while on public travel. In short, this should be with a person every time he or she goes out of his or her house. The Diabetakit is not merely a storage of food or beverages or a bag full of physical intake. Rather, its contents have a well-designated purpose so that whatever irregularities or unwanted emergencies that may happen, there will be a specific intake object from the kit. Remember, our kit has a purpose. It is not only aesthetics and proud moments. As much as possible, let us always practice to go out of the house with this kit on our waist or worn through our sling bags. Remember, we do not know when will the hypoglycemic attack happen. But if we are prepared and we have done our best to neutralize the irregularities, we will have greater sunshine ahead of us. Now, let us consider the content of the Diabetakit. Number 1, orange juice. Orange juice. This is the best possible handy material that one can use when in the sudden and actual hypoglycemic attack. Remember, a juice is a liquid processed thing. That's why liquids will always be very fast to increase our blood sugar. Remember, when the situation is sudden and actual, meaning a sudden blockening of the vision or a sudden unstable vision, then the best choice is always orange juice. so that there will be sudden increase also of glucose to regain normal mobility and consciousness of the person involved. Number 2, sweet gelatin. When you are not yet in actual hypoglycemia, but you are already feeling the signs and symptoms that you always feel when you are proceeding to a hypoglycemic episode in the past, then you should take something from your kit. This time, the best choice is sweet gelatin. This will promote effective sugar increase, but not as fast as the effect of the orange juice. So when you are talking about these signs and symptoms, these are the times when you feel sudden numbness, sudden cold feeling, and headache at the back part of the head. That is actually a signature symptom that hypoglycemia is already starting to happen. Number 3, soft chocolates. Soft chocolates. Chocolates are compact sugar. When you say compact sugar, it is very, very majority composed of sugar. After taking in orange juice or jelly ace, if there is no relief or improvement of the hypoglycemic state, there is a need to follow up on the intake of sweets, and this is now the time to take bolus of glucose or tons of glucose, and you can get that from chocolates, wherein the sugar content is concentrated. So soft chocolates here is more of a glucose maintenance rather than a glucose intake material. So a glucose maintenance after the initial or the first aid intake of juice and gelatin. Number 4, hard candy. Hard candies are being taken when there are activities that may trigger hypoglycemia or even headache that may mimic the effect of hypoglycemia. When you say mimic, it is actually resembling a headache of hypoglycemia, but it's not hypoglycemia, but because the signal is there, it might initiate hypoglycemic effects or headache leading to hypoglycemic effects. Oftentimes, this is when you are on a course of a long foot travel. That means travel by feet, no vehicle, just merely walking. Or on a course of long working periods under direct rays of the sun, or shall we say you are working in the garden, you are sweeping the grounds or working on some carpentry thing that you are exposed under the heat of the sun and your sweat is continuously pouring out. Okay? And more importantly, on a course of having a distant drive of an hour or more, which usually results into motion sickness that can trigger hypoglycemic headaches or even pseudo headaches. When I say pseudo, these are not true hypoglycemic headaches, but it can lead to sudden manifestation as there is consciousness of a cognizance of a similar headache to that of hypoglycemia or low blood sugar. Thus, when in the course of being in situations like this, a prophylactic intake of hard candy, preferably just to liquefy at the mouth and not to be beaten and swallowed in a good way or is a good way to eliminate this precipitation circumstance. Meaning, the hard candy must be eaten so that the anticipation of things that are irregular will not be overemphasized. Or in short, prophylactically, you can solve it before the problem happens. Number 5, dry crackers. Diabetes is really an on-the-time condition. Thus, when there is a delay of the intake of food as scheduled, or shall we say the meals, the breakfast, the lunch, and the dinner, it can right away trigger hypoglycemia or low blood sugar. So when you are on your way to the place you are eating or to your home and there will be an anticipated delay, dry crackers will always be an augmentation food that can stretch the time before you will succumb to hypoglycemia due to delay or late intake of food. That is why it is basic that you should have this in your pocket or in your possession, because you cannot take chances by being late in going to the side of food intake, yet not adding glucose or sources of sugar to augment your delayed travel time. Number 6, sugarless cereals. Sugarless cereals. These are nutritionally approved sachet packs of cereals for diabetic patients and pre-diabetic candidates. You can buy this in bulk, which is 1 box, and just bring with you 1 or 2 sachet. The purpose of this is to have an alternative meal. There are instances that you can surely miss your meals not only by time delay but really forfeiture of a meal. A good example of this is when you are caught by an overtime work and dinner cannot be taken to fasten the remaining work. You can get this sugarless cereal and then place any kind of mineral water, or place this in any kind of mineral water and then have it at 500 ml water content only, then put the cereal content and then shake and then drink. 1 sachet can give you 2 to 3 hours holding time. That means you have to take in another one after 2 to 3 hours if you are to miss the present meal and eat only on the next possible meal without food reinforcement. Number 7, note indicator. If you notice, this is the only content of the Diabetakit which cannot be eaten or be used as an oral intake. Here you type or write the words, I am a diabetic and I am not feeling well now. I need your help. Again, what should be written on the paper? Here are the words. I am a diabetic and I am not feeling well now. I need your help. When you have no more strength to open your Diabetakit due to sudden onset of hypoglycemic passing out, they can open your little kit and see this note and they will know what to do because you gave them an indicator and a direction how to proceed in helping you. So, dear Diabeligence streamers and listeners, we have completed already our Diabetakit. Remember to purchase a bag, a sling bag or a waist clip bag that you can always reach for fastly, okay? When you are, or what I'm trying to say is, you can reach fastly when you are in a hurry to leave the house. Remember, this bag should be equipped with our Diabetakit suggested contents. Dear viewers, what we have shown here today is a personal analysis of your content provider Nurse Noy of what is needed by a diabetic person in times that can be anticipated. Thus, there are no literatures or reviews that will reveal to you the existence of Diabetakit. However, this is a result of interviews, observations, experiences, and logic compounded by your content provider Nurse Noy on how to independently survive diabetic hypoglycemic attacks, which are not expected and oftentimes in transit or in public travel when it occurs. To make our presentation more realistic and understandable, an actual demonstration of completing a Diabetakit will be presented, and I hope you will be able to see and prepare your own Diabetakit after watching this episode of Diabeligence, your secrets to diabetic intelligence. Now, let us see the demonstration. I hope you have paid significant attention to the physical demonstration of the preparation of the Diabetakit. Preparing this and conscientiously carrying this even in the regular travels that you will have will make your travel more safe and more realistically protected. Once again, it has been a productive day for all of us Diabeligent viewers and listeners. I am so happy to share with you again tips that will help us live an optimum life even in the presence of diabetes. Until the next episode of Diabeligence, your primary source of practical knowledge in handling and living with diabetes. This is your content provider, Nurse Noy Gonzaga Jr. saying, bring the Diabetakit and have a safer day ahead of you. God bless you, dear Diabeligent listeners, and see you in our next episode of Diabeligence. Have a sweet, sweet life ahead.
Sweet